Hello, dear learners. Have you ever heard about the term like CTC, minimum wages, nominal wages, take home salary, wages, salary? I hope most of you have heard either one, two, or all the terms which just now I have used. And have you discussed about your work or about your salary or any of the family member or relative or a neighborhood person or a friend have discussed with you about his or her salary that he or she is not getting the justifiable and equitable salary as compared to his or her colleague. So such things used to happen in our day-to-day life, and organizations will have to deal with all such things. And these things comes under wages and salary administration. So today I will discuss in my lecture about what is the wages and salary administration. In this lecture, I will be going to cover about the various definitions and concepts which I have just now used, like wages, salary, minimum wages, take home salary. What are these, all these concepts, whether these are same or different. Second, I will discuss about why there is a need for wage or salary system. Then we will discuss about what are the various objectives of wages and salary administration, what is the process of wage administration, and what are the various factors which affect the or which influence the process of wage administration. So first thing first, if we discuss or if we define the wage and salary administration, so it is a systematic process with the help of which organizations try to give fair, justifiable, comparable wage or salary to an employee. Now, wage and salary. These two terms, although used interchangeably nowadays, but initially or even till now, many organizations differentiate in these two terms. If we talk about the wage, so according to International Labour Organization, wage is defined as the remuneration paid by the employer for the service of hourly, daily, weekly, and fortnightly employees. So whenever we talk about wages, so suddenly the things comes under our mind that, oh, okay, that the Dihadi Mazdoor used to get wages. Then usually the wages, this term used to apply for all the production and maintenance, all blue collar employees. Now come to the salary. Salary is defined as the remuneration paid to the clerical and managerial personnel employed on monthly or annual basis. This means what? Ki whenever we give remuneration monthly or annually, then we termed it as a salary. In other words, we can define salary as the direct remuneration paid to an employee compensating his services to an organization. Now come to another term, earnings. So earnings are the total amount of remuneration received by an employee during a given period of the time. So earnings includes various components of the salary, or I should say various components of the rewards. Like it includes salary, number one. It includes dearness allowance. It includes house rent allowance. It includes city compensatory allowance and all the other kind of allowances which company used to give to an employee in order to compensate the extra uh, expenses or the extra cost which incurred to the employee. Then come to the nominal wage. Nominal wage is the wage paid or received in monetary terms. And real wage is the amount of wage arrived after discounting nominal wage by the living cost. So we may say that nominal wage is a money wage. Monetary terms में whatever wages paid or received to the employee is known as nominal wage. Whereas the real wage is the wage which represent the purchasing power of the money wage. So many terms, na? I told you that there are so many terms, definitions or concept which comes under wages and salary administration, and we never thought about all these terms so meticulously. So next term is take home salary. It is the amount of salary left to the employee after making all the deductions, like every employee has to pay some percentage to his or her provident fund, and same percentage the employer also has to pay. So such kind of deduction the company used to deduct from the employee's salary, and after that the amount remained is known as the take home salary. The deduction may be like which I have discussed just now, the contribution to the provident fund, or the deduction of the income tax, or any other kind of life insurance premium or medical insurance premium which company used to pay on the behalf of the employee. So all after such all deductions, the money left is known as the take home salary. Now the very interesting concept and the very old concept as per the law is the minimum wage and statutory minimum wage. Minimum wage is the amount of remuneration which could meet the normal needs of the employees. And as per the Minimum Wages Act 1948, the amount of remuneration fixed is known as the statutory minimum wage. Now the question comes in our mind is why there is a need for sound salary administration. So remember the talk we had initially in our lecture that most of us or our relative or friend or neighborhood or some other person used to talk about that my salary is not as per the standards, or as per my performance is not my salary, my other colleagues get much more than me. So it is very challenging task for organization to give fair and equitable wage or salary to the employee. That is why there is a need for sound salary administration, because management has to formulate various salary policies which leads to the employee satisfaction and work performance, and it is based on the performance of the employees. Most of the employees compare their salary with the others, so that is the reason that organization requires sound salaries administration system. And employees comparison of pay are influenced by the levels of aspirations and pay history. Most of the employees compare pay of different employees with their skills, knowledge, performance, etc. And they may think that organization is not doing justice with us. Organization is not considering my performance. Organization is not considering my work experience. Organization is not considering my what should I say is my skill, knowledge, and ability set properly. So they may feel rejected or dejected or injustice way, may they are feeling ki my salary is very less. So all these are the reasons behind why an organization need a sound salary administration. Now when we talk about the various objectives of the wages and salary administration, so first objective is like whenever organization want to acquire a qualified and competent employee, then that employee definitely will see what is the salary policy or wage and salary administration of that particular company, what are the various rewards or the compensation packages offered by the company. So this is the one objective of the wage and salary administration. If organization want to acquire a competent and qualified or skilled employee, then it should have sound wages and salary administration. In order to retain the present employees, present skilled and competent employees, sound wages and salary administration is again very much important. Whenever we talk about the internal equity and external equity means equity among the within the organization. That means ki different employees in different position, they have salary structure as per the position, as per the knowledge, skill, ability set. That is the internal equity. And external equity means whatever your outsider competitor is paying to the employees, you are also paying at par or at equitable manner. So for that also a sound wage and salary administration is required. Then according to the current wages and salary policies or the current labor laws related to wages and salary, uh, organizations need to update themselves, and for that also they required proper wages and salary administration. Whenever organizations are in position to bargain with the trade unions, then for that successful collective bargaining process, they require wages and salary administration. Whenever there is a time to fix the budget and such things, payroll administration and all, then wages and salary administration is again required, sound wages and salary administration. Whenever company is in dilemma ki whether to pay or an employee on the merit basis, on the performance basis, or the experience basis, or sometimes it happens that employee put his or her more than 100% effort but not able to perform as per the company's expectations. So in such cases companies also have to take care of the effort given by the employee. So for that, all such things, wage and salary administration is very much required. Now the most interesting part is wages and or salary administration process. How wages or salary of an employee is getting fixed. With the help of this process chart, flow chart, we can easily understand that in our previous chapters we have very well discussed about the job analysis. Uh, when we analyze job in small parts, we try to understand about the roles and responsibilities and the condition of the work of particular job. Then we do process of job analysis. After the process of job analysis, it has two outcomes: job description and job specification. After after finalizing the job description and job specification, the next process comes is job evaluation, where we try to give some worth to the job. And job evaluation process is done by two important processes. Any organization can choose any of the process as per the size of the organization, as per the number of the employees organization, and as per the financial strength of the organization, qualitative and quantitative. Then after the giving worth to the job, the process of job evaluation get over, and the process of wages and salary administration comes into the picture. And the first thing which organization has to do is the wage surveys. Wage surveys organization has to do for maintaining the external equity. What other organizations, what my other competitor are paying to their employees, what other companies in my industry are paying to their employees. I will have to keep information about that, so that I can make changes in my wage and salary policy according to that. So wage surveys are required to maintain the external equity, and analysis of relevant organizational problems is required to maintain the internal equity. What are the various problems are existing in my own organization, which is also very important to take care while determining the wage and salary. Then important external factor which comes here is the wage legislation. This portion is mostly governed by the government of any country or the state government. That means central government and state government both play important role. They used to take control so that employer cannot do apni manmani. So, for example, there are many laws related to wages and salary administration, like one which I have discussed earlier, also the Minimum Wages Act 1948. Apart from that, there are various laws imposed by the government to the organization: Payment of Bonus Act, payment of uh, various reward related act, Gratuity Act, Provident Fund Act. So all such laws usually government make so that employees will not feel uh, unfair or injustice salary. Then after taking care of all these things comes the wage structure. Now when we talk about the wage structure, that means we are talking about the components of the salary or the wages. So we can divide it into 2 or 3 parts, like the salary part, main salary, then financial rewards, and number 3 is the non-financial rewards. So in this way, companies used to decide about the various components of the wages which one employee can get, and after that the taking care of the knowledge, skill and ability of that particular employee, the wage of that employee get decided. So this is the whole process of wages and salary administration. Now coming to the last part of today's lecture is factors influencing wages or salary structure. Now, there are various factors which can affect the wage or salary structure of a company. First and foremost is the organization's ability to pay. What is the financial strength of the organization, whether the organization is that capacity to pay the employees or not, number one. Number two, the supply and demand of the labor. Like in the labor market, what kind of employees are available? For that particular skill set which I required, if there are so many employees are available in the labor market, then I can get those employees, those laborers in a cheaper rate. But if the particular set which I require, such employees are very less available in the labor market, supply is less, then I will have to pay more for that skilled employee. So this is also important factor whenever the wage or salary of that particular job or the employee has been decided. Prevailing market rate, like through wage surveys, I easily came to know that what are the various market rates are available for that particular skill set. Cost of living is very much important factor which affect the wage or salary structure of the employee, and usually the organizations take care of such things through the dearness allowances. Like dearness allowance is allowance given to the employee in order to maintain the cost of living index. Then productivity of the company is again important factor. Trade union, if the organization is having one trade union or more than one trade union, then different types of bargaining power or negotiation strategies company needs to use, and that will definitely affect the uh, wage or salary structure of the particular employee and wage and salary administration of the whole organization. Then what are the different job requirements? What are the managerial attitudes? What are the different psychosocial or sociological factors? And the level of the skills available in the market. All these factors affect the wage and salary structure. So, learners, this was all about the wage and salary administration for this lecture. Thank you so much.